Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, and how do you do? Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, and God loves you. Ooh, ooh. Say good morning, mama. Here go my mama hat. And y'all know from 6:40 to 6:45, I play my testimonial song that inspires me, motivates me, and reminds me who my God is. And so this song, my granddaughter, Amira Monet Dockery, loves to sing this song. And I told her at my memorial, I want her to sing it for her grandmama, okay? So here it is. Enjoy while I get myself together. At 6:45, you will hear the AA reflection meeting for January the 30th. So, but listen to the song right now. All right. Woo. It's a great morning. He woke you up. He woke me up because we want to. Take me to the King. Take me to the King. I don't have much to bring. My heart is torn in pieces. It's my offering. Take me to the King. Truth is, I'm tired. Options are few. I'm trying to pray, but where are you? I'm on church ground, hurt and abused. I can't pray what's left to do. Truth is, I'm weak, no strength to fight, no tears to cry. Even if I try, but still my soul refuses to die. Mhm. One touch will change my life. Take me to the King. I don't have much to bring. My heart's torn in pieces. It's my offering. Lay me at the throne. Leave me there alone to gaze upon your glory and sing to you this song. Please take me to the King. Truth is, it's time to stop playing these games. We need a word for the people's pain. So Lord, speak right now. Let it fall like rain. Oh yeah, we're desperate. We're chasing after you. Oh, no rules, no to pieces. It's my offering. Take me to the King. My granddaughter, Amira Monet Dockery, a.k.a. Nene, her and my other granddaughter, Zodi, a.k.a. Zanaya Dockery, they're going to be singing this song at my memorial because they know whenever the King calls me, I'm ready. But in the meantime, welcome to the January the 30th Alcoholics Anonymous Daily Reflection reading for today. Freedom from and freedom to. I was chosen to wake up this morning for this glorious, awesome, fantastic day. We were chosen just one more day. I pray for the families who have lost loved ones and those who did not wake up this morning. But for those who did wake up this morning, rejoice in this day. Over 31 plus years ago, underneath a parked car, yes, my God, who I didn't know, met me underneath the parked car, comforted me, prepared me, and delivered me from underneath that parked car and put me on this pathway to recovery, to the Alcoholics Anonymous Fellowship, where spiritual principles are available to learn, embrace, internalize, utilize, and practice while we deal with this earthly journey, yes, called life. So I do not represent Alcoholics Anonymous, but I've been a proud, grateful, and humble member for over 31 years. And I'm going to claim it when God chooses to wake me up on February the 23rd of 2022. We will be celebrating 32 years, one day at a time, from alcoholism, drug addiction, prostitution, the whole lifestyle. But for these 31 plus years, I've been practicing these spiritual principles in all my affairs. And so, welcome to the Daily Reflection, something that if you ever go to an open Alcoholics Anonymous meeting or a closed Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, any 12-step program has their own specific daily reading for the day to encourage us, to inspire us, to remind us, to have something for us to focus on just for today. And I'm a morning person. Y'all can see that, right? See me at 4 o'clock and be like, 8 o'clock, I'm in the bed, right? So guess what? Because of the daily reflection, I want to be able to share it with you. So here we go. Now, you know what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes after you take a sip of coffee like me, right? And I want to take you to the AA Daily Reflection reading for today. Freedom from and freedom to. All right? So close your eyes like I asked you. Come on now. And let's see what it has to say. All right. I want you to hear, but I also want you to listen. January the 30th, AA Daily Reflections reading. Freedom from, freedom to. We are going to know a new freedom. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 83. Freedom for me is both freedom from and freedom to. The first freedom I enjoy is freedom from the slavery of alcohol. What a relief. Then I begin to experience freedom from fear of people, of economic insecurity, of commitment, of failure, of rejection. Then I begin to enjoy freedom too. Freedom to choose sobriety for today. freedom to be myself, freedom to express my opinion, to experience peace of mind, to love and be loved, and freedom to grow spiritually. But how can I achieve these freedoms? The big book clearly says that before I am halfway through making amends, I will begin to know a new freedom, not the old freedom of doing what I pleased without regard to others, but the new freedom that allows fulfillment of the promises in my life. What a joy to be free. Oh my God, I hope you heard that. I hope you listened to that. Freedom from and freedom to. So let's read it together, okay? Because sometimes you got to read it over and over again to kind of get the gist of what the author is relaying. So let's do it together, okay? Here we go. All right. Woo, Lord, I love you. Okay. January the 30th, AA Daily Reflections reading. Freedom from, freedom to. We are going to know a new freedom. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 83. Freedom from, for me, is both freedom from and freedom to. The first freedom I enjoy is freedom from the slavery of alcohol. What a relief. Then I begin to experience freedom from fear of people, of economic insecurity, of commitment, of failure, of rejection. Then I begin to enjoy freedom too. Freedom to choose sobriety for today, freedom to be myself, freedom to express my opinion, to experience peace of mind, to love and be loved, and freedom to grow spiritually. But how can I achieve these freedoms? The big book clearly says that before I am halfway through making amends, I will begin to know a new freedom, not the old freedom of doing what I pleased without regard to others, but the new freedom that allows fulfillment of the promises in my life. What a joy to be free. Oh my, oh my, oh my. I don't know about you, but listen, I got to take a drink after that. Drink of coffee. Oh. Freedom from and freedom to. Freedom from and freedom to. Freedom from and freedom to. So let's just focus on freedom from in your life, in my life. And let's put it into a context that we can relate it to this reading. What do you seek freedom from? Freedom from lying, freedom from smoking, freedom from pornography, freedom from working too much, freedom from fear, freedom from rejection, freedom from abandonment, freedom from what? What do you desire freedom from? What do you desire freedom from? Now, if we go back into our history from the time we were children, and that's when the ideas, behaviors, attitudes, actions were formulated by our first group, our family. And so if you go back to that, did you have freedom? No, not too much, right? And so when you think of a little child, they have no fear. They are just like instinctually curious and going for everything. They have no fear. They are free from fear. And so little by little, our group, our family members began to instill fear in us in one way, shape, form, or fashion. So now that child grows up hesitant after a while to say, yes. And so when we think about freedom from as children, we grow up, some of us, being rebellious. I don't want to listen to these rules. I want to do what I want to do. I want my freedom. I want the freedom from being told to do the dishes. I want the freedom from being able to come into the house at a certain time. I want freedom. I want freedom from this. Mm-hmm. But we don't think really when we say we want freedom from this, then we want freedom to do what? Think about it now. When you were freedom, what to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it, right? To who you want to do it to. Freedom to do what? Do we ever think about the limitations, the consequences, how it impacts or affects other people, but the freedom to do whatever I want to do? So when we think about freedom, I'm asking you, go back and go over your journey, go over your process. What did you want freedom from? And what did you want freedom to do? And tell me how it worked out. Okay. Well, for us in Alcoholics Anonymous, wow, we sought freedom from life on life terms, couldn't deal with it. We sought freedom from the rejection, the abandonment, right? The issues, the shame, the guilt. We sought freedom from those things with drinking. We didn't think in the beginning that we were going to be addicted, alcoholic. Not at all. Not at all. Just like anybody else, we start out socially drinking, right? We want to calm down. We want to relax. We want to reduce the stress because we want freedom from something that we're not able to talk about, to share, to reveal. That's what being concealed. And so we start seeking freedom from with alcohol. And I can't tell you when I went from the crossroads of social drinking to alcoholic drinking. Why? Because it's a progression. It's sneaky. It doesn't grab you all at once. And so the more I drank to escape, right? The more I drank seeking freedom from, I crossed over unknowingly to alcoholic drinking. All right, so let's get into what the reading says, okay? You got enough of that? All right, so it says here, we are going to know a new freedom. This is page 83 of Alcoholics Anonymous, and it's really after the 9th step, right? We made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. But we'll talk about that in a minute. We are going to know a new freedom, right? Can you go back in your life and remember when you got your first apartment, or you got your first car, or you got your first boyfriend or girlfriend, you got your first date? You had freedom too. And it was exhilarating. It was nice. It was beautiful. It was like, yes, I'm free, right? Do you remember those feelings? Freedom from whatever it was, breaking the chain, breaking loose, right? And freedom too. Can you imagine that feeling? Can you recapture that feeling of experiencing a new freedom? We who are in Alcoholics Anonymous, yes, we have experienced a new freedom that's based in spirituality. Yes. And so when it says we are going to experience a new freedom, we are going to know a new freedom. All right. So the writer writes, freedom for me is both freedom from and freedom to. And so you may say, what did you mean by that? Well, that was the first introduction to our topic today, me giving you some tangible experience, giving you some examples so that you can put into perspective what this statement means that, I have experience, right? He says, freedom for me is both freedom from and freedom to. So you know what that means, okay? So now, from his perspective, the first freedom I enjoy is freedom from the slavery of alcohol. The first freedom he experienced, the first freedom I experienced is the freedom from alcohol. I told y'all, underneath that parked car 31 plus years ago, I put myself there to keep my stepson, who was my age, from perhaps killing me, hurting me. I don't know. Because under the influence of any mood altering chemical, we don't know what we are liable to do. We don't. And so I was running from him for fear, freedom from him, thinking he would hurt me, he would harm me, he could possibly kill me. I wanted freedom from him. And as I ran down the streets of Mount Airy Avenue, I saw a series of parked cars and a flashback from my past of going underneath the bed when I was a child, when I was afraid, when I was playing hide and go seek. When my mother and father were fighting, I was afraid. I sought freedom underneath that bed for protection. So I understand what he means, by I experience, right, both freedoms from and freedom to, from the slavery of alcohol. Why was I getting high with my stepson? Why was I doing sexual favors with my stepson? Why was I indulging in unhealthy behaviors with my stepson? For 14 years, a progression took place. I'm seeking freedom from all this stuff. And I'm seeking freedom from by indulging in alcoholic drinking, by doing drugs, by prostituting, right? Freedom from, and I'm thinking I'm experiencing freedom too. But it says the first freedom we experience in Alcoholics Anonymous is from the slavery of alcohol. Oh, that word has a interesting effect on some people. It depends on what side of the fence you're on. You get me? And so when it says slavery from alcohol, that meant that we who are alcoholics have become a slave to alcohol. It will tell us to do. It will tell us to act. It will tell us when, how, where, right? It will tell us to do any and all things to feed itself using this vehicle. So the spirit of the alcohol, the drugs entered into this physical body. And guess what? It manifested its ugly desires through this physical body. No matter what our intentions were, no matter what we were going to do, no matter what we thought we could do, our alcoholism said, bam, lash, bam, lash, bam. You either going to submit or you are going to die. And underneath that parked car, is when I cried out to this God that I didn't know to take me out this life now or show me a better way. Instantly, unknowingly to me, he delivered me from that devastating compulsion and obsession of alcoholism. Yes, he did. Obviously, because I'm here almost 32 years later. So under the lash of alcoholism, I was set free by asking for help, by being humiliated to the point where every knee shall bow and my knee bowed underneath that parked car. So I sought freedom from. I know what's behind me. I know where I was. I know what I did. I don't want to go back. And so when this God, who I didn't know, put me on a pathway to recovery, he sent me to the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, where I did not know anything about it, right? I heard about it in rehab and things of that nature. But when it talks about the first freedom I enjoy, is freedom from the slavery of alcohol. What a relief. What a relief. What a relief. You know how you have upset stomach and you got diarrhea and your stomach is bubbling and you're hurting and it's painful and you're just going through it and it's almost like labor pains, you know what I mean? And once you get to that toilet or once you get outside in the bushes, once you get on the side of the car and you just let it go. You just let it go, and while it's coming out, right, a little relief, right, is there, but it's still painful because you got more to let go. But once it is all out, what a relief. Can you, feel what I just said by associating it with diarrhea? Let it go, and you will feel such a relief. The obsession and the compulsion was immediately lifted from me underneath that parked car because I sought help. My God knew I was ready. Free me from and take me to wherever you want to take me. Okay? So as a result of this freedom, right? Then he says, then I began to experience freedom from fear. I began to experience freedom from fear. Now we're not going to identify what yet, but just freedom of fear in general, right? And so in recovery, we learned that the acronym for the enemy is F everything and run. Forget everything and run. F everything and run. F it, I'm out of here. Forget everything and run. That's the negative spirit of the enemy. Fear, run. Forget everything and just run. Run to me, run to the alcohol, run to the drugs. Come on, forget everything and run. It ain't gonna change, it ain't gonna get no better. Come to me, come to me. Forget everything and run. Oh, hell to the no. This is when we experience freedom from and experience freedom to. And we change, and the acronym is changed to state from recovery. No. Face everything and recover. That's the spiritual angle for free, right? For fear, freedom from fear. Face everything and recover. Face everything and rejoice. Face everything and rebuild. Face everything and restore. Face everything and what? Rejuvenate. Versus F everything and run. No, So now that I have a idea, and the obsession and the compulsion is gone, and I'm willing to face fear, because I want to face everything and recover, right? And so freedom from fear, right? And now what categories? Fear of people, fear of economic insecurity, of commitment, of failure, of rejection. We can go down the list, and we can even add some things. Freedom from fear of people. If you've been around me and you know me and you see how transparent I am and all that, I am not intimidated by no man. No, I am not. I am not intimidated by no man. I used to have fear of authoritative figures, starting with my dad. He instilled fear within me. And I remember one day I had got so high, and I had stole his money, and I was all coked up and everything. But guess what? That day, I wanted my dad to kill me. I wanted to face this fear of mine. And I lost my fear of my dad when I looked him in the face and saw those 2 guns on the pillow after I took all his money, and he realized it, and I'm prancing around showing off the clothes that I bought with his money. I got to him and I looked down at him on the pillow and I said, "Dad, are one of those for me?" And I said, "Dad, do what you gotta do. I'm not afraid of you anymore. Do what you gotta do, Daddy. You said you brought me in this life, then take me out. I'd rather have you take me out than somebody on the street. Do what you gotta do, Daddy." And that's when I listened. I lost my fear of people, beginning with my own dad. All right. And of course, it has perpetuated. It says fear of economic insecurity, right? Through this 12-step program, I was taught that it was material things, it was your profession, it was tangible things that showed you were economically stable and secure. It was a lie. But I lost fear of being economically insecure. I'd rather have little and be happy than have a lot and be miserable. All right. Fear of commitment. Oh my God, this was a big one for me, right? Because for me, watching my dad again and all the women that he had, and watching how he treated my mother, right? Fear of commitment started as a child when I didn't see the harmony, the love, and all the kind of support for married couple. No, what I saw was you cheat, you cheat, you cheat, you cheat. So guess what? Ain't nobody committed to nobody. I'm talking about relationships wise, right? And so as a little girl, I'm looking at my father with all these women and stuff. Men are not committed. And I saw my mom take on all this stuff. And listen, I made up my mind then. Whatever men do to women, I'm going to do to men. I'm not going to be committed to nothing. But I lost the fear of commitment. One thing I can tell you for sure, I am committed to my recovery. I am committed to praising my God. I am committed. Yes, I am. So I do know what commitment is. Yes. Woo. It says, right? Freedom from fear of failure, of rejection. Yes, we all can identify with that, right? Free from rejection, right? I know when early recovery, they talk about don't get a job too soon, and money is a trigger for you. You have a past, and what you have to do is, get some more of a foundation under you. But when you are slowly prepared, you are going to be given some what can I say? Some opportunities. And we share in Alcoholics Anonymous, listen, from a spiritual angle, right? You all gung-ho about getting a job, and guess what? The first one, you didn't get the job. The second one, you didn't get the job. The third one, you didn't get the job. The fourth one, you get the job. And then some of us like, but the one who endures to the end. So door number 1 through 19 was not for you, but we wanted to see if you lost your fear to keep on going. And guess what? Door number 20 was yours. So fear of rejection, right? Fear of failure, hell to the no. It was good practice. All right? I got but a couple more minutes. It says here, then I began to enjoy freedom too. Freedom to choose sobriety for the day, right? Listen, one day at a time, right? I call on my God every morning, and I, in my early recovery, ask him to allow me to be sober. And my early prayer was, Lord, let nothing come down the pike this day that you and I can't handle. That was my daily prayer. Yes. So I asked for help that delivered me from underneath that parked car, right? And I was able and willing and wanted to stay sober one day at a time, right? Freedom to be myself. Oh, Lord, see, God knows I was cuckoo for Cocoa Pops, right? And I was just waiting to be set free so I can be myself. So many times in my childhood, I was told this, I was told that. Edwina, you can't tell the truth. Edwina, the truth will get you in trouble. Edwina, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I'm like, what? Confusion. And so through the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, and these spiritual principles that I've been practicing in my life, I practice being myself. I practice being transparent as much as I can. I practice being authentic. Did you hear the word practice? The more I practice being me, the more I practice being transparent, the more I practice being authentic, the more freedom I have to be me. All right, okay. I freedom to myself, freedom to express my opinion, freedom to experience peace of mind. Oh my God, y'all. Oh, if I could give what I have to you, listen, I listen. My dad had a favorite song called Peace Be Still. And I know why that was his favorite song. Because he had so much turmoil. Yes, for the things he did, for the things he said, how he treated my mother, his wife, how he took advantage of one of his daughters that was not his, right? He had so much turmoil, and all he wanted was peace. And that song by James Cleveland, Peace Be Still. And so I now, through this journey of recovery, applying these spiritual principles. Donald Lawrence said, you are not a natural being having a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being walking and embraced in this physical body on this earthly journey. You can have peace beyond all understanding because God gives it to you, right? To deal with any and everything from a spiritual angle, you can have peace. And guess what, y'all? I have peace. Woo! And I love it. Yes. Okay. And it also says to love and be loved. Oh, this was interesting. I didn't know what love was. No. I didn't understand love, right? My grandchildren and I throughout the day, Mook Mook, I love you. And out of the blue sky, she'll say, Grandma. I say, yeah, I love you. Yes. Well, what does love mean? What does it mean? I didn't know what it meant. I was confused as a child, and that confusion followed me throughout my adulthood until I got to the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous and found out what unconditional love was and is. Oh, what a freedom. What a freedom. And so they say in Alcoholics Anonymous, we will love you until you can learn to love yourself. What does that mean? I love me. I had no idea what they was talking about, but I know now what they talking about. And so when I allowed myself to be loved by the spiritual fellowship and the host of friends in this spiritual program, I found out what unconditional love is from the human being aspect, how God used them to show me unconditional love. And when I saw them, I saw the presence of my God. And I learned how to love myself and practice loving myself unconditionally. And therefore, I can learn and practice to love you unconditionally. I tell you, I'm just taking a few more minutes. Why? I just can, I guess, right? And so here, and it says freedom to grow spiritually. This is the one I like the most, to grow spiritually, to grow spiritually. I always contained my measure of growth and what I had, who I had, this and that. No, to grow spiritually as a child, I yearned for what it's all about, right? And so through my life's journeys, right, I've experienced some things that has helped contribute to me growing spiritually, right? And so this is, wow, this is my goal. This is my aim, to do what Donald Lawrence says, right? To deal with any and all things on this earthly journey encased in this body from a spiritual angle. Oh, I can't wait to continue to grow one day at a time. Okay, let me end by, I know. It says here, the big book clearly says that it says, so how can I achieve these freedoms? Well, the big book clearly says that before I am halfway through making amends, I will begin to know a new freedom, right? Not the old freedom of doing what I please without regard to others, but the new freedom that allows fulfillment of the promises in my life. What a joy to be free. So they're talking about, where and how can you find this? And through steps 1 through 8, it prepares you to experience step 9, right? Because step 9 says, may direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others, right? And so when we get into Alcoholics Anonymous, we look back, we go back to find out who we hurt, who we caused harm to, as far back as we can. And we begin to decipher that and acknowledge that and identify that, right? And then we had the willingness to make amends, right? We have the willingness, and the Alcoholics Anonymous, they give you different ways to make amends, that there are no excuses not to acknowledge the wrong you have done, we have done, and become willing to make amends. That's what gives us the peace. We no longer want to look over our head. We no longer want to cross the street. We no longer want to avoid people. No. We want to make those amends to give us the freedom from and the freedom to be set free. All right, so let me close. I don't went over. What can I say? It says, but the new freedom that allows fulfillment of the promises in my life. What a joy to be free. And I'll close by saying, God gave me an acronym for free. And me and Reggie Dillard used to work for the city of Wilmington, right? We would come up with an acronym for free. And then one time I was in the Glenside meeting, and there was a doctor, another alcoholic sitting next to me. And I said, how do you know this is that? And he said, da 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 da. I said, oh, I got it. The acronym for free is from recovery, emerge, empowered. Yes, from recovery, emerge, empowered. Freedom from, freedom to, from recovery, emerge, empowered. To do what? To stay sober and help another alcoholic achieve sobriety. Yes, okay? So, I don't have to go to my meeting today until 9 o'clock. And then I go to my place of worship at 9:30. And so I just took a few more minutes just to share all of this with you. And let me say, please, freedom from the COVID-19, right? And all these variants that are coming. Put on your mask, social distancing, get vaccinated, get your children vaccinated, get booster shots, right? Do what you're supposed to do so you can have freedom from and freedom to live for yourself and for others. God loves you, and so do I. I am free from recovery, emerge, empowered. It did it for me, and it can surely do it for you. If God allows us to wake up tomorrow morning, I'll be here, and I hope you will be too. Be safe, and be safe. I love you. I really love you.